those that are going to come in and catch the replay, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Also, set the bell to all notifications so you can get notified when I do go live. And my times are not as consistent. So when I do go live, at least you'll be notified. And if you would be so kind as to tap that like button, it would be fully appreciated. Yes.
Fox News alert: the Southeast is picking up the pieces after Helene killed more than 230 people, making it the deadliest hurricane to hit our mainland since Katrina.
Right. The Biden-Harris administration sending 500 more active duty troops to hard-hit North Carolina, bringing the total to 1,500 as thousands are still waking up without power.
Lawrence is live in North Carolina with a firsthand look of the destruction. Lawrence, what has it been like over the course of the past day or so for you?
Hey, good morning, family. It's really hard to describe because it's something that you would typically look at as a movie or, you hear reports about it, but when you really get here on the ground, you see just devastation like none other. Right behind me, it used to be a car repair shop. And as you can see, there's one car right here, but you see other cars that are inside of the building that are just smashed together. And to the left of me, it used to be a mattress shop, and it's not even visible. It took us going to Google Maps to figure out what the business is. The people here are struggling. There's questions about the response here so far. And, I always tell people, I'm not going to disagree with administration when they say FEMA is here. The problem is the residents aren't seeing them right now. But just a big undertaking from the people coming together here, businesses coming together, Samaritan's Purse, who is on the ground. So where the government hasn't been here, you've seen the community come together, guys.
It's always the case.
So, yes, actually, they said that this is the worst one since Katrina. So I don't know if it's equal to Katrina. They're still discovering bodies. We have missing people over 200. There have been multiple states that have been affected. They are playing in our faces. And my question is, and will remain, what we gonna do about it? What we gonna do about it? This hurricane had a personal vendetta with the grounds of the Southeast. I'm just here to tell you. We got businesses underwater. We got homes being swept away. We got footage after footage after footage, if you just go seek it out, of vehicles floating down the street. And my question is where is the help? Where is the government assistance? Where is the money? So you didn't do anything right after and I'm speaking to the current administration and the current government that is in office. You didn't do anything immediately after that. You took your little sweet time coming to the podium to give a funky and the offer of funky $750 per family, not per person, per family. Okay, an allocation of $4 million for devastation that equals and levels as equal as Katrina. $750 per family. But we're going to get off into the logistics of Ukraine, Israel, the illegal immigration situation going on here, Lebanon, $157 million after Hurricane Helene came in and showed her ass and left so many people displaced, the ones that made it. And the ones that didn't, where is the collective effort outside of the fellow citizens looking for these bodies? Putting as much effort into discovering these people as they are sending our money into countries where we have no vested interests in. Okay, all of this is my opinion. Let's go ahead and continue. I just, listen, y'all, it's better if I just go ahead and let them speak for themselves instead of me doing a whole lot of commentary, because I got a lot to say and I need I don't need it, but I want my page to stay intact and I want it to stay up and running. So that's where I'm at with it. Let's go.
It's often the case, it's all too often the case, Lawrence, these days when it comes to some crisis. You look to your neighbor. Sadly, we can't look to our leaders. And I know that you spoke to many of those neighbors, many of those people in North Carolina over the last couple of days. Here it is.
We never thought it would hit up here in these mountains like this. But when we walked down and seen that road gone and that bridge gone, I mean, it took my breath. I was like, what happened?
Lots of disaster in this area, a lot dead, a lot without power and water. We don't know when the water will be restored. I don't have either right now.
My son hiked 5 miles to get me. We went through all the devastation of, there were no roads, there were no homes, there was nothing.
Just so much damage. It's been somewhat overwhelming. We feel like we're in a war zone.
And I've experienced guys coming up here from other cities, packing up this free stuff that they are sending us, saying they're going to sell it. All donated goods for us. I mean, there's places that lost their homes. There's families that lost everything they had.
People have drove up and they saw what we've got and they just covered their face in their hands sobbing that they were able to find something to eat, something for their babies.
It's such an outreach from around the country. I mean, folks from all states coming in and they're just helping us and bringing supplies in, truckload after truckload.
So if anybody needs it, we're here. And we will, as long as we have supplies, we will be here for the long haul.
Let me say this. Since I've had my page coming up on about 10, 11 months, give or take, I've been talking about uniting. I've been preaching family core values. I've been talking about unity, consolidating, people coming together with a common interest, putting differences aside and looking at the bigger picture, because truth be told, we really should not be an enemy of one another. We have bigger enemies that are playing in our faces every single day. They're controlling us like puppets through bills, laws, and legislation. They are passing laws, putting it on the books without us knowing or without us being aware of it collectively. Let me say it that way. That when we do find out about it, it's too late. And when we do push up, it's still too late. And then the response is, you know what? That's the law. I don't know what else to tell you. It is written. That's the law, right? So I also I think it was my last live stream, I said, if we don't do it proactively and we don't get ahead of it, then we will be forced to unite. We will be forced to become cohesive in the midst of a catastrophe, of a storm, of casualties, of life in the midst of life-altering situations, instead of doing it prior to something happening. And as emotional as I feel about this, I am uplifted and I am super happy and hopeful that even though that may become the truth for many, and that has definitely become the truth for the victims of Helene, God has allowed, in my opinion, for them to rely and lean on one another, and not the ones that constantly play in their face and lie to them with a smile. And they showing up and they showing out. People are sending help, whatever that looks like, because they need it from all different avenues. They are sending help from all across the country. Okay? They're uniting. The communities are gelling together when this storm has done everything, nothing short of separate them physically. They got helicopters. I have a footage of goats transporting emergency supplies to get across terrain that cars, mopeds, and bicycles can't navigate through. But it is requiring for people to get past their differences and the petty shit to get on the same page just to survive, just to get the mere amenities that we take for granted every single solitary day, like water and food, hygiene products. You got people running into goddamn Costco and Sam's Club buying up all the toilet paper when we have our elderly in a house full of water. They don't even have their birth certificate. They don't even, some of them don't have their documents to be able to apply for any type of governmental assistance, since they got all of these requirements for the citizens, but have none for criminals and for illegals coming across the border that we have provided, or the government has provided an open border for. That is the only way we are going to survive in the last days. It is prophecy, it is biblical, and it has stood the test of time when it is implemented. And if you don't do it voluntarily, God dog it, you're going to end up doing it involuntarily. Because we need one another. You were not created to navigate this world alone, solo dolo. We have been cultured into that mindset to our detriment by design. Let's go.
I think that our government can do more. Because we're going to need the help. There's roads gone. There's, it's going to take a lot to rebuild us.
There's so much more that could be done. And giving us $750 if you can even apply for it is ridiculous.
$750, that is $4 million. Let me just run down a couple of stats here before I blow my top, right? Israel, since October 7th of 2023, do your own research. I did mine. These are facts. I go to reputable sources. I go to the source outside of the people, especially when I am making statements that I'm making that is on an assertive level. I got to know what I'm talking about. $17.9 billion since October 7th of 2023 we have given Israel. Let that sit for a second. I said $17.9 billion since October 7th of 2023 to Israel. I don't know if anybody's been keeping up and tallying, because it seems like every time you turn around and the news hits, the government is sending money to Ukraine. Well, I did a current check today, a couple hours before the live stream. $113 billion with a B dollars has gone to Ukraine. But FEMA is giving, or has allotted, left to disperse $750 to a family that has lost everything. Even just flood damage without insurance is going to run you thousands. We have, this is the creme de la creme for me. This is the icing on the cake, because this immigration thing is so far up under my skin, it crawls. And it tops the money given to Ukraine. It tops the money given to Israel. And it's just been during this administration. Most of the immigrants have come in between 2023 and 2024. We still have 3 months left in 2024. $150.7 billion, which averages out to $1,156 per taxpayer per week for per immigrant. Yeah, y'all heard me right. $150.7 billion. And by the time I'm done with this stream, it'll be at $151 billion. Easy. $1,156 per taxpayer per week on average is going to each immigrant. I know some of us might be doing decently in finances, but think of it from a collective standpoint. How many people do you know is even making that much per week? But we, and when I say we, I'm being sarcastic because I ain't gave them nothing. I don't even know no illegal immigrants. Our taxpayer, and I say we because we pay taxes and we have no say-so on how it's allocated, where it goes. Our understanding is that FEMA gets an allocated budget every year of hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. Let's be clear. And you only have $4 million. And this is the first hurricane of the season, which means they can't even blame it on anything preceding Hurricane Helene for 2023-2024 hurricane season. Not to mention that we got Milton right around the corner. He ain't even peeking. He letting you know what his intentions are. So you're given, and I don't know how true it is, but what I will say is that there is some humbug on the social media platforms saying that this is a loan, which brings me to this. Like I said, I go to the source. This is the FEMA website. And evidently, they're getting a lot of backlash. They're getting a lot of pushback, and a lot of questions being asked, right? So one of the questions is, they call it rumors, okay? Now, they don't tell us anything unless they deem that it's on a need-to-know basis. However, if you go seeking for the information, this is what you'll find on today's FEMA website. So the rumor is, according to them, FEMA only provides loan to disaster survivors, and they're stating the fact is false. In most cases, FEMA grants do not have to be paid back, but let's keep reading. There are some less common situations in which you may have to pay FEMA back if you receive duplicate benefits from insurance or a grant from another source. So that means that you can only rely on them, okay? That's the way I'm interpreting it. Or if you get paid from the insurance company, you don't qualify, even though insurance companies aren't going to definitely make you whole. And you, just like income, you need multiple resources, especially when natural catastrophes happen and you've lost everything you've ever worked for. Goes on to say, but you ask FEMA to advance you some money to help you pay for those costs while your insurance is delayed. You will need to pay that back, okay, once you receive your settlement. If you are a homeowner or small business owner, low interest disaster loans are also available from the SBA in a declared major disaster. These loans may help with home repair or replacement, personal property, vehicles mitigation, business losses, and working capital for small businesses and most private nonprofits. The devil is in the details. So look at all the businesses that were demolished, including gas stations, restaurants, those are essentials. We're talking about any small business. So the way I interpret it is that the small businesses are excluded from grants or not having the requirement to be able to pay it back, which makes it a loan. Okay. So to me, the hypocrisy within this little fact paragraph, little conundrum here is misleading. So let's just keep going down a little bit and see what else is relevant, because like I said, they got their ears to the ground because they're addressing, or at least attempting to address, everything that is being questioned as far as their competency and their intent, right? Let's go down a little bit more, because you don't need to apply more than once, is what they're saying. It's not going to speed up your process if you apply more than once on the same claim, right? FEMA is in the process, this is rumor, is in the process of confiscating Helene survivor property. If I apply for disaster assistance and my land is deemed unlivable, my property will be seized. FEMA cannot seize your property or land. Applying for disaster assistance does not grant FEMA or the federal government authority or ownership of your property or land. When you apply for disaster assistance, a FEMA inspector may be sent to verify the damage on your home. This is one of the many factors, the devil is in the detail, reviewed to determine what kind of disaster assistance you may be eligible for. If the results of the inspection deem your home uninhabitable, that information is only used to determine the amount of FEMA assistance you may receive to make your home safe, sanitary, and functional. Now, I will say this, for anybody that's got their ear to the ground about this, there is a lot of information, a lot of theories, a lot of data out there that supports that this may have been intentionally done by some forces. With that, there are absolutely some loopholes that FEMA is not required to divulge. It's not FEMA's business. It's not their responsibility in their mind, right? So I'm not saying it's fact or rumor. I'm just presenting the information from the source of FEMA's website. Do with it what you will, but this is just a small snippet of other clips that I'm going to be showing, because I want to give both sides. I want to give a perspective and show receipts of the government side, as well as the people in the boots on the ground that are living this nightmare and having to pull together because they can't rely on the government that they have invested into, that they pay taxes into, to respond on any level. So according to this, FEMA is still accepting applications. Now, whether they're accepting applications or not doesn't mean that they have the funding, right? So you can, just like any other organization, you can go online and put in an application all day long. You can duplicate them. You can put them in everybody in the house name. Doesn't mean you're going to get approved. And it also doesn't mean that the resources are readily available at that point in time or at that very moment. So I just wanted to add that and, caveat this statement here. So FEMA is asking, hold on, what happened? Funding for FEMA disaster response was diverted to support international efforts or border-related issues. They claim that the fact is this is false. No money is being diverted from disaster response needs. FEMA's disaster response efforts and individual assistance is funded through the Disaster Relief Fund, which is dedicated fund for disaster efforts. Disaster Relief Fund money has not been diverted to other non-disaster related efforts. Now, I take issue with this because, first of all, when you look around, depending on who you talk to, you're going to get a different story. And the head of FEMA was just, for lack of a word, impeached. Ironically, in the past couple of days, he stepped down or was put down or whatever the situation was. He said something totally different. The very first thing he said when FEMA's feet was put to the fire after Kamala, she thought it was a bright idea to offer families, not each individual family, $750. $750 when we're giving $17.9 billion to Israel, $113 billion to Ukraine, and $150.7 billion to illegal immigrants to set up shop on U.S. soil that have no vested interest into this country, even if they just got here a year or two and started paying taxes, which I highly doubt, in my personal opinion. That's still not long enough to be vested when you have immigrants that come to this country that have had to go through years of red tape, a lot of monies, appointments, and having to jump through hoops in order to be deemed and classified as a U.S. citizen. They never received $14,000 a month in food SNAP benefits. They never received $10,000+ a month in cash benefits. They never got a chance to go sleep in a hotel, high-end hotels that have been given government funding much more than what their profit margins would be, to the point where they take the paying customer, they turn them around and redirect them out the door, and then they house illegal immigrants. I got a problem with this, right? So I'm just giving you the source. I'm not saying it's true or not. This is just what I got, right? This is what I looked up. This is what I received in information. We're going to go, I'm going to remove this because I pretty much said what I wanted to say on that talking point.
When I tell y'all I'm super frustrated at the moment, is not a lie. For the past 48 hours, I had planned to go to East Tennessee, Irwin, Newport, and all that tomorrow. And for the last 48 hours, I've also been on the phone with EMA, operational people, trying to see who may need my thermal drone most and whoever I could assist better. I try, and then I get a phone call and an email where we're being told to stand down. I've also spoken to rescue crews that are there right now. And it's one thing I'll say about social media. Most people know, and somebody knows somebody and they see somebody. I've had emails where I've had a woman named Laura ask for help. Her brother got swept away. They have a video of him being swept away, and she's just asking for help to get him. And yet we're being told to stand down. I have heard from people, Danielle and Alex, no offense to y'all, I've heard from these two people about how he went to take generators and supplies there, and he was turned down. The water, food, stuff like that, turned down. Why? You have people that really need things. And I get it. It's such a disarray. I understand this was all so fast. But at the end of the day, man, putting a halt to everything while there's people's lives at stake that are sitting out there somewhere that.
To CZ, welcome into the chat. And I would agree with you if FEMA was doing their job. But $750 per family and them not moving fast enough when you have children, you have elderly people that are displaced, their homes are flooded, their cars are swept down the road. There are no gas stations for miles where people that can drive to get gas. And critical, you're speaking of critical areas. If they don't have the liquidity and the access, or if they won't, if the resources are tied up, whatever the reasons are, fine and dandy, then let the citizens help one another. It ain't no skin off of FEMA's back. FEMA ain't got the money. If you ask me, the illegal immigrants should be stepping in and seeing what they can do to help, since they're the ones that's benefiting from the government funds during this administration more than anyone else. Let's continue.
Don't have anything, that may be trapped, may be hurt, and you're asking people to stand down that have the capabilities to help somebody, it doesn't make sense to me. Make it make sense. I don't understand. Now, if you was going to tell me, hey, the military's coming in here, Coast Guard's coming in here, they're in here immediately, maybe it would. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But being told, hey, man, yeah, just hold off for a minute. We're trying to get things figured out. Steve Fisher got told the same thing. Others have been told the same thing. Even crews that are in there working right now have been told to stand down. Why? And it's in certain locations. But when TEMA comes out and says it, it's for the whole general area across Tennessee. And I'm sure the Carolinas are doing the same, Nashville. Frustrated is an understatement, man. See, my whole life has been, I've done things, I messed up. For the past 10 years, I've done everything I could to change who I am and just to generally rebuild myself. And I always told myself, no matter what, be selfless, help others, no matter what. Nobody's situation is worse than anybody's. And when people get in a bind like this, everybody needs help.
That part. And one organization is not going to be in a position to help everybody because they call it a natural disaster for a reason, right? If we go with that, if we go with it, it's a natural disaster, then we go with that. But we don't have control over the outcome. We don't have the control of how it ends up and what people's needs are when it's all said and done in the aftermath. And we can try to equip, but the people that comprise the government agencies are still human. They're going to always be off the mark at some juncture. Wiggle room here and there. They may hit the mark here and there. But with a natural disaster, we need each other, period, point blank. How is it that when you have people, if you don't have the resources as the organization that is assigned to provide resources during a natural disaster, then why should those people suffer? There was supposed to be an allocation of taxpayers' money, but it was misspent. It was spent on something it wasn't allocated for. And even if it wasn't, it ain't there. These people, every day is dire. Every hour without water, without transportation. Those waters have diseases in them. You got people that are having babies, older people that have no other alternative but to depend on somebody else. Where did we get this thinking that community is not supposed to take care of one another? That's what I'm talking about this individualistic mindset. The government is not God. And they're not going to be equipped or make the right decisions in every situation. They're going to miscalculate things that are going on. I thought we were supposed to be a community. When they say the United States of America, united is the first word. I didn't create that. That was given to me on my birth certificate, on my social security card, on the dollar bills that I hand for barter, that I trade with. That's not my words. That's the government's words. And if they fall short, aren't the people supposed to step up? Just a question. Let's go.
So you do whatever you can to get off your ass and you go help them. And it just frustrates me because I have something that I know would help. Steve has one of the best drones there is. He has 30 MT. That is one of the top fucking thermal drones, man. And yet we're being told to stand down. It doesn't make sense to me. Look, man, I won't be in the way. Hell, I have trucks, trailers. I could bring water, food, anything they need. I could stock it full, bring it to them. But I'm being told to stand down. Why? Make it make sense. Do you know there's videos right now going around of people fighting for water that's coming off these trucks? If y'all ain't seen it yet, you will. It's unreal, man. It's famine. I mean, it is absolutely destroying to one's core and heart to watch people, just everyday people, be put in a situation like this and have to fight for food in their life. And I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional about this because it pisses me off. It pisses me. I don't understand it. While my kids and my wife's in here laying down and they're sleeping in a comfortable bed tonight, you have families that have nothing anymore. Swept away, gone. But yet we're being told to stand down. For what? Please tell me why.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. They take our tax dollars. They put them where they want to put them. They send it to who they want to send it to. We got vets out here that have served for this country. They can't get more than $23 in SNAP benefits every month. But illegal immigrants are entitled to $14,000 a month for a family of 4 to 7. Make it make sense. And I'm going to break the monotony a little bit, add a little bit of humor, but he's still going to be telling the truth. We can all do something. And if you can't contribute or donate anything, pray for them. Can we do that? Or are we too selfish to even lend a prayer in a moment on somebody else's behalf, and while they're in a situation that could very, very easily be us? Could be you, could be me. Keep living, and it just might. Much love to y'all. Peace. I'm out.